The long shadow of civilization, how agriculture, parasites, and progress rewrote the human body. Part 1. Before the trade, life, before civilization's bargain. Chapter 1. Before systems, there was biology. What does the human body reveal about the world it evolved for? The body on the ground is small by modern standards, but not fragile. The bones are thick. The joints show wear, but not collapse. The teeth are worn flat, yet largely intact. There is no sign of chronic infection eating its way through the skeleton, no evidence of prolonged starvation, no deformities from childhood deprivation. The cause of death is sudden, perhaps a fall, perhaps a wound, perhaps an infection that moved faster than the body could respond. What is striking is not how this person died, but how they lived. This body belonged to a human before systems existed. No cities, no fields, no permanent waste. No inherited hierarchies. Just biology moving through the world it was shaped for. For most of human existence, this was the norm. Not comfort, not safety, not abundance, but alignment. The human body evolved in a context defined by movement, variation, exposure, recovery, and long periods of biological quiet between moments of danger. Energy came in pulses. Stress arrived briefly, then passed. Immune systems trained on real threats, then stood down. Muscles worked hard, then rested. Food was unpredictable but nutritionally dense. The environment was not controlled, but it was honest. This is the starting point modern conversations about health rarely acknowledge. We begin our story assuming progress improved the human body. That civilization refined it, strengthened it, extended it. We assume the past was brutal and short, and the present is gentle and long. But when the physical record is examined without romance or condemnation, a quieter truth emerges. The body was not designed for civilization. Civilization was designed around the body, and then gradually stopped listening to it. Human biology did not evolve for permanence. It evolved for responsiveness. The systems that regulate hunger, movement, immunity, inflammation, repair, and stress are exquisitely tuned to environments that change daily, seasonally, and unpredictably. They expect fluctuation. They expect recovery. They expect silence between alarms. What they do not expect is constant pressure. In pre-system life, stress was acute. A hunt failed. A predator appeared. A storm arrived. The stress response activated fully, then shut down. Cortisol spiked, then cleared. Inflammation rose to repair injury or fight infection, then subsided. The immune system learned, adapted, and returned to baseline. Nothing lingered unless it had to. This matters more than modern health narratives admit. Because what breaks bodies is not intensity, it is duration. A body can withstand extraordinary exertion if it is followed by rest. It can survive severe injury if inflammation resolves. It can tolerate hunger if nutrients return. It can manage pathogens if immune engagement is temporary. The human organism is resilient by design, but only when stressors are transient. Early human life was dangerous, but it was not biologically loud. The archaeological record confirms this in ways that are difficult to dismiss. Hunter-gatherer skeletons show fewer markers of chronic disease than those from early agricultural and urban populations. Bone density is higher. Signs of iron deficiency anemia are rarer. Teeth show wear, but fewer cavities. Joints reflect use, not degradation. Trauma exists, but healing is often clean. These bodies did not decay slowly. They failed quickly, when they failed at all. This distinction matters. A sudden death shortens life without eroding vitality. A prolonged decline lengthens suffering while compressing functional years. The first is tragic. The second is corrosive. Before systems, most humans died young by chance, not by attrition. And this is where the first assumption begins to unravel. We imagine that ancient life was uniformly miserable because it was short. But short does not mean degraded. It means interrupted. A life can be biologically intact and still end early. What modern societies have normalized is something very different: extended life accompanied by prolonged breakdown. The difference lies in alignment. Human metabolism evolved for intermittent fuel, not constant surplus. Human muscles evolved for varied movement, not repetitive strain or static posture. Human immune systems evolved for exposure followed by rest, not perpetual activation. Human nervous systems evolved for danger followed by calm, not continuous vigilance. Before systems, these expectations were met by default. After systems, they were not. The body did not complain immediately. Biology is patient. It compensates. It adapts. It reallocates resources. It trades long-term repair for short-term survival. This is why the early phases of misalignment are invisible. The organism keeps going. The species multiplies. The society expands. The bill arrives later. The long shadow this book explores begins here. Not with agriculture, not with cities, not with parasites, not with cancer, but with a quiet mismatch between ancient biology and emerging permanence. It is important to state clearly what this is not. This is not nostalgia for a lost Eden. Pre-civilization life was harsh, uncertain, and often brief. It is not an argument against progress. Without systems, humanity could not have achieved art, science, medicine, or memory beyond a single lifetime. And it is not a claim that the human body is fragile. On the contrary, the body is astonishingly durable. The problem is not that civilization exists. The problem is that civilization scaled faster than biology could renegotiate its terms. When humans stopped moving, the lymphatic system still expected movement. When humans began eating monotonous diets, the microbiome still expected diversity. When humans settled near waste and animals, immune systems still expected separation. When stress became chronic, hormonal systems still expected resolution. Nothing broke. Nothing failed. The systems simply did what they were designed to do: survive now, repair later. But later kept getting postponed. Modern readers often experience this mismatch personally, even if they have never named it. Persistent fatigue. Inflammation that never quite resolves. Immune systems that overreact or underreact. Metabolic confusion. Aging that feels accelerated. Bodies that live longer but feel older sooner. These are not personal failures. They are signals. They are the body expressing conditions it was never meant to sustain indefinitely. The purpose of this book is not to shame civilization, nor to glorify what came before it. It is to restore continuity between what the human body is and what the human world has become. To show, calmly and precisely, how we arrived here, and how much of what feels inevitable is in fact adjustable. The first step in that process is remembering the baseline. Before systems, there was biology. Before permanence, there was rhythm. Before control, there was responsiveness. The body has not forgotten this world, even if history has. And it is from this memory, written into bone density, immune behavior, metabolic design, and stress response, that the long shadow of civilization begins to stretch forward, generation by generation, into the present moment. What follows in the chapters ahead is not an argument against progress, but an accounting of its costs. Not a rejection of longevity, but an examination of what longevity exposes. Not a fear of disease, but a clearer understanding of why it appears when it does. Nothing in the human body is random. Nothing in its decline is meaningless. Before systems, there was biology. And biology is still speaking. Chapter 2, The Natural Human Lifespan. How long do humans live when biology, not systems, sets the rules? The woman walking ahead of the group is not young, but she is not diminished. Her gait is efficient, practiced, almost quiet. The muscles of her legs are lean and responsive. Her breathing is steady. Her hands, lined, strong, carry tools worn smooth by decades of use. She knows this landscape the way a body knows its own balance. When she stops, the group stops. When she moves, they follow. She is old enough to be a grandmother many times over. She is not fragile. This scene, reconstructed from skeletal evidence and ethnographic parallels, unsettles a modern assumption that without medicine, without systems, without infrastructure, the human body burns out quickly. That natural life is necessarily short and sickly. That longevity is a gift bestowed only by civilization. It is not. To understand the natural human lifespan, one must first clear a confusion that has distorted the conversation for centuries. Average life expectancy is not the same thing as biological potential. The first is a statistic shaped by infant mortality, violence, infection, and accident. The second is a measure of how long the human organism can remain functional when its core systems are not chronically undermined. When biology sets the rules, death often arrives early, but not because the body fails. It arrives because the world interrupts. In pre-system conditions, many humans died young. Children succumbed to infections that modern antibiotics would easily defeat. Adults died from injuries that surgery would now repair. Some starved when seasons failed. Others fell to predators or exposure. These deaths pull the average down sharply. But when those who survived childhood and accident are examined separately, when we ask how long humans can live if they are not interrupted, the answer changes. The conditional lifespan, the lifespan after early hazards are cleared, extends far beyond what popular imagination allows. In skeletal populations from hunter-gatherer contexts, a consistent pattern emerges. Individuals who survived into adulthood often lived into their 40s and 50s with intact skeletal integrity. Some lived into their 60s and beyond. Signs of chronic degeneration, advanced arthritis, widespread bone infection, systemic disease are markedly less common than in early agricultural and urban populations. These people did not live long lives by modern calendar standards. They lived long lives by biological standards. This distinction matters because it reframes what natural means. The natural human lifespan is not defined by how long humans lived on average in dangerous conditions. It is defined by how long the body can function when its systems are not continuously strained, when inflammation resolves instead of lingering, when immune systems stand down instead of remaining on alert, when stress is acute rather than ambient, when movement varies instead of repeating, when food is irregular but nutrient-dense rather than abundant but depleted. Under those conditions, the human organism ages differently. Not slower in years, but slower in damage. Modern aging is often imagined as a clock ticking down, cells dividing, telomeres shortening, time marching forward. But aging is not driven by time alone. It is driven by accumulated insult, by how often repair is deferred, by how long inflammation stays active, by how frequently systems meant for emergencies are forced into daily service. In natural conditions, those systems are quiet most of the time. The stress response activates to escape danger, then resolves. The immune system responds to real threats, then returns to baseline. Muscles work hard, then rest. Energy flows in waves. Scarcity alternates with abundance. Variation is constant. This rhythm protects longevity in a way that constant comfort cannot. One of the most persistent myths about pre-civilization life is that it was uniformly exhausting, that survival required constant exertion. In reality, hunter-gatherer life involved bursts of intense activity followed by long periods of rest, social interaction, and low metabolic demand. Foraging was not an endless grind. It was a skill refined over generations to maximize efficiency, not effort. This pattern is visible in the body. Thick bones reflect intermittent high load, not chronic strain. Joint surfaces show use, not erosion. Muscles attach to bone in ways that indicate power without breakdown. The body was used as intended. Contrast this with early agricultural populations, where repetitive labor became the norm. Grinding grain, carrying water, working fields season after season. Stress was no longer episodic, it was scheduled. Inflammation did not resolve, it accumulated. Childhood malnutrition left permanent marks. The average lifespan fell, but more importantly, the quality of adult life declined. Civilization did not simply shorten life, it compressed vitality. The natural human lifespan, then, is not best measured by how long ancient people lived. It is best inferred from how long they could have lived if they had not been interrupted. And the evidence suggests that, biologically, humans are capable of remaining functional, mobile, and mentally intact into what we would now call early old age, without the slow decay that modern populations accept as inevitable. This does not mean ancient people lived pain-free lives. Injury, loss, and hardship were real. But pain was not constant. Disease was not ambient. Degeneration was not the default. The modern body experiences something different, a a low-grade, unrelenting pressure that rarely crosses the threshold of crisis, but never truly disappears. The immune system is always slightly active. Inflammation is always slightly elevated. Stress hormones are always slightly present. Repair is always postponed. This is not how the body was designed to age. When modern readers ask, how long should humans live naturally, they are often asking the wrong question. The more revealing question is, how long should humans remain biologically intact? Because longevity without integrity is not success. It is extension without resolution. The natural human lifespan is not a fixed number. It is a range shaped by alignment. Under conditions where biology sets the rules, where stress is acute, nutrition is dense, movement is varied, and recovery is real, the human body can sustain itself for decades without the cascading failures that define modern aging. This is why the elders of pre-system societies were not simply survivors. They were repositories. They carried memory, skill, and social coherence. Their bodies held enough integrity to allow their minds to remain useful. Longevity, in this context, was not measured in years lived, but in contribution sustained. Modern civilization has extended years while undermining contribution. We have added time, but often at the cost of capacity. This is not a condemnation. It is a diagnosis. The natural human lifespan is not something we have lost forever. It is something we have obscured. The body still knows how to age well. It still responds to rhythm, variation, recovery, and meaning. It still repairs when given silence. It still stabilizes when stress resolves. What has changed is not biology, but context. As this book will show, the long shadow of civilization does not fall because humans chose progress. It falls because progress proceeded without renegotiating the terms of biological alignment. Longevity arrived before understanding. The question now is not whether humans can live long lives. We have proven that they can. The question is whether those lives can be lived with the integrity the body evolved to sustain. When biology sets the rules, the human lifespan is not short. It is simply unfinished. And what comes next depends on whether we are willing to listen to the body not as a machine to be optimized, but as a system with memory, one that still remembers how long it can last when the world allows it to.